Hey everyone, Cody here. Welcome to RSG Outdoors, and thank you for joining me for today's video. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button down below. If you haven't already, click subscribe, turn your notifications on so you get notified when we drop new content. Today, I wanted to do a drifting video, but we got a little bit of sudden rain a couple of days ago, at least more than expected, and the river is now unfishable. So I have moved up into a tributary that is normally just a few feet deep, but today it's like 30 feet deep. I'm trying to pull some striper out of here. I'm fishing with some live gizzard shad and some cut skipjack. I didn't catch that many gizzard shad, but I'm hoping a few small ones will still help me get a nice striper enticed to bite. Water's really murky. I'm fishing some Carolina rigs on these two rods, these outer two and these outer two, and I'm fishing Santee rigs on these inner two. I can't remember exactly which ones have live gizzard shad on them and which ones have cut skipjack because I threw them out a few minutes ago and I wasn't really paying attention, to be perfectly honest. I am hoping to get on a few fish. I really want a big striper because they're always their heaviest right before they spawn, and they should be running up these little rivers and tributaries for just that purpose. So hopefully we'll get on a few. Let's see what happens. Not a bruiser, but he's a fish. You're mad. It doesn't look hooked too great. I don't know, maybe we got him good. Oh, never mind. Yeah, he's hooked solid. Come here, you. Parker. Small guy, but fat. So in case you're wondering how catfish make those sounds, their pectoral fins can rub against some bone that's in there. You can actually feel it if you're holding one like this, and it makes that little squeaking sound. He's got some mud on his belly, and he's very fat. He is very full of something. Aren't you, buddy? Not bad. Decent one. Maybe 3-4 pounds, but he is fat. Fat. All right. I wanted to take this time to talk to you guys about fishing tournaments and two of the most common questions that I hear when people are considering fishing a fishing tournament. So the first question that I always hear from individuals who are considering fishing a competition is, am I good enough to compete in a fishing competition? And the answer to that question for anyone watching this video is yes, you are. No matter what your skill level, what your target species is, I promise you there is a fishing tournament out there for you. So you do have enough skill to go out there and compete effectively. Now, are you going to win? That's not always a guarantee. But it's not guaranteed that you'll lose, even if you're the most novice angler there is, because one of the greatest things about fishing is that no matter what you do, no matter how good you are, how much skill you can apply, there is a luck factor involved in fishing. I don't know what else to call it. I don't like to call it luck, but I don't really have another name for it, so that's what we're going to call it. You might be the most novice angler out there, go and set up on the spot where the fish just happen to be that day, and you might just be throwing the lure, the bait, what have you, that they want for that given day, and you figure it out faster than anybody else in the water, even if it is by accident, but it happens. But if you're looking for a tournament and you are a novice angler, go online, go on Facebook. There are several websites out there dedicated to increasing the visibility of local fishing tournaments and some of the smaller tournament series, things like that. So go online, check things out. I guarantee you can find something for your species. I've fished well over 200 fishing tournaments, fresh and saltwater, And I've fished for everything from catfish, which you guys see me do routinely, striper, black bass, panfish, crappie, all species total weight, all species total length, saltwater fish of varying species. I don't know, like I said, you can go out there and if you have a species that you target routinely, if you have a species that you just want to target for your first time, there's definitely a tournament out there for you. And I think that everyone who has a fishing rod, or even if you want to try hand lining, get out there. I guarantee you there's a fishing tournament that you can compete in, and you're definitely good enough to go out there and at least give it your best shot. So the second most common question that I hear after I answer the first one of are you good enough is why? Why should I compete in a fishing tournament? And the answer that I have for that pretty much suits everyone is knowledge. If you compete in a fishing tournament, you will gain knowledge not only about your target fish, but also about yourself and your fishing technique. What you'll begin to do when you're under the pressure of a fishing tournament where you have a deadline to meet, you have a time, and you have stringent fishing regulations that you have to abide by to meet the tournament rules, you'll start to weed out the techniques that you use that don't really produce fish that often. You'll start to weed out the locations that you fish that don't produce fish that often. And you'll start to learn more about the bodies of water and the fish that you're targeting because you're in a heightened state of alert for looking for those fish. You're looking for those feeding fish, not just, oh, I cruised over on my boat and found a bunch on sonar. Or if you're doing a bank tournament or something like that, and it's, oh, well, I normally fish right here because it's the easiest to access, but if I shift 20 yards down the bank to my left, then, oh, there's a nice little deep hole of water here that I didn't know was there. You'll also gain access to individuals who fish more frequently than you might, or know a body of water or a species of fish better than you do. And you should definitely take advantage of this because most fishermen are pretty upstanding people. You don't want to ask them what they're doing before a tournament because then they'll probably lie to you because they don't want to give away their secrets. They don't want to give away what they think is going to be the winning formula. But if you ask fishermen at the end of a tournament, at a weigh-in, hey, what did you do that led to your success? Most fishermen are more than happy to share their information, to share their techniques, the locations or types of locations they fished, lures, baits, presentations, whatever. And all of those little pieces of information can start to build up a calendar for you. And that's one of the best things you can have as a fisherman is a fishing calendar. If you go fishing on a day, write it down in a little notebook. Write it down on a physical calendar. Hey, I went fishing on this day. I fished these kinds of places with this kind of bait and this technique, and I caught this many. Logging things like that can help you build up an idea of what you should do every single year. And if you're fishing tournaments where you have a large number of anglers all out there targeting the same thing or similar things, you have more lines, more techniques being used, more locations being fished, and that just gives you a broader band or more bandwidth for information for individuals you can ask and say, hey, what did you guys do? And you can log what they did as well. And that'll help you build a better calendar and help you build a more successful calendar for your fishing. So I highly recommend fishing a tournament, and the answer to why is information, both building up yourself, building up your calendar, and just eliminating some of the things you do that just don't produce fish. So information is the main reason why you should fish a fishing tournament. There are some other benefits. Obviously you can win prizes, you can win money, but if you're going into a tournament cold, you've never done one before, or you're going after a species you haven't really targeted before, your chances of winning any money are pretty slim. I've won some money, I've won some prizes, things like that, but it's very rare that it happens instantly. It's very rare that it happens for a first timer. So practice building that calendar, building up that information base that you need to target those fish. That's what's going to make you successful in tournaments. But every tournament where you come away with new information and new ideas is definitely a success.